It's yeah. Anyway, that's
right. I wanted to ask you a bit more about the boost solenoid.
Okay.
Because your video was real quick about what you were doing,
Right.
and I like that you've still got your cable ties on there. Awesome.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know more about, in particular, the 3 hoses that are on it. So
Okay.
like when you've got a stock one, and I'm just going to get the camera and bring it over. When you've got a stock boost solenoid,
Yes.
how many bar can it measure?
I think it's like 1.3 max is the amount of it can actually allow to flow through.
Okay, and it's got 2 pipes on it, yeah?
It's got 2 pipes, yes.
What are those 2 pipes? Where are they going?
So one comes off the manifold into the controller and then out to the wastegate and the turbo.
Can we see that? Oh, well, actually, I can see one attached to the turbo there.
So that's essentially the one. That essentially comes off the manifold. That's supplying the boost pressure to be controlled.
Okay, so that goes in the back there. Boost comes off the pressurised turbo side into the back of that boost controller.
Yes.
And in a stock one, there is 1 pipe out, yes? Or
yes.
2 pipes out?
1 pipe out.
So 1 in and 1 pipe out. Where does that pipe out go?
To the wastegate on turbo. Which on this one's down underneath it.
Okay, so when you get to alright, so the turbo will spin, you know, to its mechanical capacity.
Yes.
But the turbo might have a capacity for 1.5 bar, but your engine and fueling is only for 1.3.
Yeah.
If you have a turbo which is capable, let's go crazy, right? If I've got a turbo that can push 2 bar, what does the wastegate do for me?
Well,
sorry, the boost control solenoid, what does it do for me?
You want your boost control solenoid to be closed, essentially. As in, not allowing any flow into the wastegate. Because you want your wastegate to stay shut, which keeps all the boost going.
Yeah.
So when your wastegate opens, that's when you lose boost. So your stock one, it can't restrict it enough to stop the wastegate being open.
Right, so the amount of boost pressure eventually pushes that flap open.
Yeah, it can't flow, no, it's not it can't flow, it can't control enough.
Right, so that's why sometimes people put a stronger wastegate spring in.
Yes, or
so if you've got a monstrous turbo, it'll just blast the wastegate open.
Take the wastegate off and put pack washers behind it so it's pulling harder on the spring.
Right, yes.
That kind of thing. So it keeps it shut longer.
Yeah. So the stock boost control solenoid is what controls the activation of the wastegate.
Yes, and it only works up to a certain boost.
Because it's got a limit on which, what do you reckon the stock boost limit is?
2, 1.3 maybe.
Okay, so that's why mine is still running the standard boost control solenoid then, because it only does 1.3
because it just does 1.3.
So it can
but
manage
your turbo probably could do more.
I would say that probably is the case.
But let's probably not do that.
Let's not do that, at least not until I've got the money saved up. Right, okay, so 2-port solenoid, 1 off the turbo supplying the boost pressure, and 1 going back to the wastegate controlling said boost pressure,
yes,
and dumping any extra pressure so that it doesn't explode your engine.
Yes, yeah, it just keeps the wastegate opening.
Okay, right, you sir have a big turbo on there.
I have.
Which does not do 1.3 bar.
No, it does 1.5 and flutters maybe a bit more higher than that, but
okay,
that's alright.
Why do you need a 3-port boost control solenoid? Why did you change your boost control solenoid?
Because the stock one can't do 1.5 bar, so I couldn't get full boost out of it.
Right, so your map could ask for a controlled 1.5 bar of boost,
but the standard boost controller could not give it 1.5 bar.
Certainly couldn't measure it consistently.
So what he did was getting fuel hosing out the back of the car. Black clouds.
That explains that smell.
Yes.
So what's the 3rd pipe then? So same principle as before. So first thing, larger capacity to measure more boost.
Well, it works in a slightly different way. So this one takes the boost coming in off the manifold.
Yeah.
And it bleeds it off. So if you want full boost, instead of it going to the wastegate, it goes back in the air intake.
Oh, so where's that?
Which one's that one? That one, a black one. That's going back in the air intake.
Right.
So it bleeds the extra boost off back into it. So when it wants to shut a turbo, it then closes the valve over and lets the boost flow into the wastegate and opens the wastegate.
Which means that if you've got...
It's basically, it can be shut the whole time.
Yeah.
Up until you get to your set boost point, and then it will open. Whereas your stock one could basically, depending on how bad or how old it is, it can be open from as soon as you start hitting revs. and you're losing boost. So like as soon as you come on the boost, you can start losing boost if you're...
Yeah, because it's just wasting out down the exhaust.
Also, the stock ones get old and worn, that's what happens as well. You lose boost simply because they're losing the boost back into the wastegate.
Right, and what's the significance of this third pipe that goes back into the air intake? I can see it there. What's the significance of that? Because that's the new pipe.
So, this is metered air, right? Assuming that you're still running a MAF,
yeah,
it's supposed to know exactly how much air has entered the system. So, this air has been measured already, it's accounted for that much air, so it has to go back in, which is why it's after the MAF, because it already counts that as being existing air. It's not new air that's been added to the system.
So if you lose air, you would end up running rich.
If I took it off, it would run rich because it's expecting the air that was in there to be combusted in the engine. And if it's not connected, you get a rich run. Not the end of the world. Bit of backfire and downshifting like that.
Which we like, but we also like our boost to be controlled and not errant.
Yes.
Errant boost is not what you want in your engine. Okay.
Especially with high boost. You don't want errant high boost.
Errant high boost. Oh, I've accidentally...
2 bar! Yay!
Yeah, I've accidentally done 2 bar and now my engine's on the floor.
Now all things are bent.
Right, cool, thank you. I just wanted to point out some... Well, I wanted to talk a bit more about it because your fitment video didn't go into the explanation of it, and I thought folks would enjoy that. So there's a bit more about what...
Our final point, of course, is don't just go and fit a 3-port boost controller.
Oh, but won't that give me more power?
Because your ECU has no idea what to do with that. And you could literally just pull it out and go straight to 2 bar. It's not likely, but
yeah,
it is a possibility.
So
you can well overboost.
So let's say you, so if you put in a decat pipe in your car, the thing will still run. It'll run a bit lean, but you can survive without a map for a while. If you switch to a totally different boost control solenoid, you could blow the engine in the first pull.
If you take the cat out, it knows the cat's there, it gets a little bit upset and brings the engine manually on. It's not what really make the car drive any differently. It can still do what it wants to do.
It can still meter and compensate.
If you start to change things, like if you change the MAF out for a non-stock MAF, that's a Denso, and you put in some Chinese thing that you found in eBay.
It runs on different resistors and different voltages.
Yeah.
Can't really see it, but...
Alright,
oh, there we go.
You know, the ECU has... It's been programmed for the Denso and has linearization file, you know, for the Denso, and you've given it random numbers. So it has no idea how much air's coming in or how much fuel to give it.
That way lies the death of the engines.
Yes.
So, top tip.
Well, top tip is ask a mapper questions.
Seek professional assistance. Know your limits. Know the limits of your spanners and your driveway.
Don't go into forums and go, 3-port solenoid, that gives me more boost, and fit it. Yes, you will get more boost. You may also end up with your engine in a bag.
You might end up with a whole bunch of invoices. A bucket full of bottom end.
Con rods poking out where they're not supposed to be. Yeah.
Poking out? That's if you can find them.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Thank you very much, Dave. I'll turn that into a video of usefulness. See if you can uprate your cable ties now.
Excuse me.
Thanks, Dave.
That's a good idea. More cable ties. There we go. One. Every little helps. Even if it's cable ties.
Are those rated for 1.8 bar?
Probably. I mean, they were kind of... Oh, that's my knuckle. Oh, God.
You cracked your knuckle there?
All of it. Ah, that's hot. God damn it.
That's power you're feeling there?
That's hot. Just plain old hot. That is the coolant pipe that runs into the throttle body to stop it freezing. And not freezing from temperature, freezing to the Venturi effect. Ah! Oh, it's here we go. I might even snip these cable tie ends off. Maybe. There we go.
And where was the one that actually popped off?
It was that one. I managed to get it tight again.
There you go. You want to keep some cable ties?
Nah, it's alright.
But they're all pretty colours. Some spares so that when that thing fucking pops off again, you can immediately tie it.
Right. I got a yellow one, a red one, and a green one.
Yeah!
Safety first. Put it in the glove box.